everybody, and welcome back to TJ's Talk Show. Today we're going to go a little bit of a different angle. The last few days we've been talking about football and baseball, mainly Raiders and Braves. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about the NBA and some possible trades. There's a guy out there who's been on the front end of some trade talks, and that'll be Sacramento Kings center DeMarcus Boogie Cousins. So a lot of people here in Portland have been thinking, you know what, maybe the Blazers should go after a Boogie Cousins, because you have Lillard and McCollum on the front court or in the back court, and no one doing the job in the interior, offensive or defense side of the ball. So, it makes it tough for the Blazers, who are already struggling at 9-10 so far on this young season. And their biggest problem is just defense, really. They can score with just about anybody. You got McCollum and Lillard, two of the best scoring guards in the league. But let's just go over a couple of the points allowed in some games. They played the Golden State Warriors. They gave up 127 points, 118, but that was in overtime against Phoenix. They beat Phoenix 124-121. Okay, then they played the Clippers, got smashed, gave up 111 points. Gave up 113 to Chicago, 126 to the Houston Rockets, 113 to New Orleans. So the biggest one is the Cleveland game, 137. You aren't going to win many you're not going to win many, if at all, if you're giving up 137 points in the NBA. Yes, it is the defending champion Cleveland Cavaliers. Yes, it's LeBron James. Yes, it's Kevin Love. But still, 137 points, that is ridiculous. That is, you'll never win. And then 130 most recently on Sunday to the Houston Rockets. They gave up 130 points. That's unacceptable. And those are in regulation. Like, if those were double overtime or maybe even just overtime in general, okay, I can understand 130 points. That's a lot of scoring. But still, you're playing more than just the 48 minutes you're supposed to. Not if you're the Portland Trail Blazers. They're playing all-star defense here, and it's literally just who wants to score this time around on the Portland defense, because let's be honest here for a second. CJ McCollum, Damian Lillard are not defensive superstars. They're not going to get you, they're not going to make the ball handler give up the ball. They're not going to smother the ball, smother guys into turnovers. They're going to get scored on. I mean, to me, one of the defensive-minded point guards that pops to mind is Patrick Beverley. That guy doesn't need to score a ton of points, because what he does on the defensive end is why they're paying him money. That guy smothers the point guard for the other team night in and night out, and he is damn good at it. And you're just not going to get the same type of defensive production. But on the other side, I'll take McCollum and Lillard over Beverly and Ariza or Corey Brewer or whoever, James Harden, because Beverly's going to hinder the offensive side. Beverly is a counterpart to Harden for a reason. Harden doesn't know what the word defense means when he's playing it, because, that's some of the worst defense I think I've ever seen in my life at that level. But let's just quick look. The Houston Rockets, 130 points, 126 points. So you're in 2 games, both have gone in regulation. Portland Trail Blazers have given up 126 and 130 points in 2 games. There's no way Portland can win more than 15 games this season if they keep playing this kind of defense. And that doesn't just go on, the guys like Mason Plumlee or Ed Davis or Festus Ezeli, who still has yet to play a game. Just a little side note there. Alfred Amin, who's hurt. But still, they have no interior presence. And that is going to kill the Portland Trail Blazers all season long. And where does this relate to Boogie Cousins? He is an absolute superstar and a stud on the interior. Offensively, defensively, he can stretch you out, shoot the three on occasion. And why not work out a trade? Or at least think about it. I'm sure they're going to give a couple of offers. If Sacramento's smart, they're not going to accept it without a CJ McCollum being in the deal. But let's just take a look at this. Let's just look at some big guys for the Blazers. You have Ed Davis, who's going to just do a job for you. You know, the guy's a grinder. He's going to get you your rebounds. He'll score when he has to. When he's open, he'll score. Festus Ezeli, freak athlete. Guy very athletic. Has yet to play this season, so that's definitely not going to go well when you're as a trade piece. Mo Harkless. He's listed as a small forward, but that guy's big enough and he can play the 4. He's probably going to get beat 9 out of 10 times throughout a matchup, especially against a guy like LaMarcus Aldridge or Kevin Love or Porzingis or something along those lines. A good 4 will beat Harkless, but he can play it. Then you have the guy that I cannot stand with an absolute passion, Myers Leonard. One, I think he is the softest guy on the entire roster. He just garbage. He barely rebounds. The only productive thing he does on the floor is stand in a corner and seek an occasional three-pointer. The dude is awful. You need to get rid of him, in my opinion, ASAP if you're the Blazers. I don't care if he's a great locker room guy or anything like that. You need wins. And when you have two of the best backcourt guys, and they need some serious help on both sides of the ball, because if you can contain even just one of those two shooters, you're going to beat the Blazers. So, Myers Leonard, you got to go. You're a 7-footer that brings nothing to the table. Bring back Channing Frye if you want the same production out of Myers Leonard, in my opinion. And then you got Mason Plumlee, who's your starting center. He's an absolute high motor guy that rebounds like crazy. He fights for the ball. That's your anchor right now, and he's not. He's a great role positional player. He can do his job, absolutely. And he's right now, that, like I said, the anchor of this defense on the interior. But he's not an anchor type player. He's not going to be your Serge Ibaka on the Thunder, where he's going to protect the paint and swat everything and do all that stuff. Like, no, that's not just going to happen with Mason Plumlee. And you got Noah Vonleh, another freak athlete, but he's very raw on both sides of the ball, so that's not a guy you're going to be able to rely on in years to come. But there is a guy, Boogie Cousins, that you can rely on night in and night out to go and get his. He's going to get his 20 points, his anywhere from 10 to 15 rebounds a game, and he's just going to dominate the paint. And he plays 30-something minutes a game. Okay, you got 35 minutes on the floor that's absolutely just being manhandled in the paint. That's what Boogie Cousins is going to do. So why not work up a trade and get like a Shabazz Napier or Evan Turner and throw in Myers Leonard or Myers Leonard. Yeah, I was right the first time. And a Plumlee. Okay, try to get somebody who's got a big hit on their salary cap, because let's be real, Boogie Cousins is not a cheap option. The guy is a freak, and he's getting paid the way he's supposed to. So you can't just give away a bunch of rooks for this, because that's just going to hurt the salary cap. So get like a Mo Harkless. Or you know what? You can even go as far as trading Allen Crabbe, because I haven't been impressed with his production for the enormous contract the Blazers gave him to keep him out of Brooklyn. So you know what? Give Sacramento another scorer, and Allen Crabbe. He's a good offensive guy to go with Rondo. Rondo is a freak point guard. I mean, he's got some great passes. Can't shoot very well, but we all know his reputation as a passer. A guy's he's a triple-double machine, and he plays pretty decent defense. So then you add, they already have guys like, I believe Wesley Matthews is there. So go ahead and give him an Allen Crabbe to bring off the bench. Give him a Mo Harkless to bring off the bench. Give him Plumlee to maybe try to step in and going to be a force on that interior over there. But I mean, or Al-Farouq Aminu. I like Aminu. He plays hard. He can play the 2, the 3, and the 4. He can stretch you out a little bit. He can shoot the 3. I mean, he doesn't shoot at a great percentage, but he can do it. So why not throw Aminu in there? Aminu, Ezeli, Harkless, Crabbe for Boogie Cousins and a D-League player. Like, there's definitely something to be done there. And I think for the Blazers to even be relevant in an already competitive Western Conference, and a conference where they're trailing the Los Angeles Lakers 1 year after losing Kobe, kind of shows where they're going. This team is struggling. They're losing their identity. Everyone thought this type of year was going to happen last year after losing Aldridge, but they made a spark, lightning in a bottle last year, made a good run in the playoffs, surprised a lot of people, and now people are figuring out how to stop the Portland Trailblazers. You stop McCollum. You don't give Lillard an out. If you double him, he passes it to McCollum, and there's another three-pointer. If you can stay man-to-man on McCollum and Lillard and force everyone else to beat you, you're going to win. And then on the other side, just attack the paint. Just attack the paint if you're an opposing team going against the Blazers. It's a very easy formula. Okay, that's why James Harden's an absolute freak against the Blazers, because they don't play great defense man-to-man. And on top of that, who's going to stop James Harden at the rim? Mason Plumlee once, maybe, on a good time. But with that Euro step and all the acrobatic awareness and body control that James Harden has, no one on this entire roster will be able to stop or even intimidate James Harden at the rim. And you know what? Boogie Cousins might not block a lot of shots, but that's a big dude to get around. And he's going to challenge a lot of shots. He's going to be a Tim Duncan-type defender at the rim. He's not going to block a lot, but he's going to make it very tough against everybody. Little guys, big guys. You're going to work for every point against Boogie Cousins. And that's what Portland needs right now. So that's where I would go if I'm the front office for the Blazers, because they have a lot of guys who are trade objects more than members on the team right now, and that's just business. That's just looking at it from the business side of things. You have a bunch of role players that are getting paid starter-type money, a.k.a. Alan Crabbe, all right, getting paid a ridiculous amount of money, $70-something million over 4 years, to do what? Come off the bench. That shouldn't happen. Okay, you got the Brooklyn Nets, who are absolutely awful and needed somebody to score for them, so they offered it. Portland was dumb or smart enough to match and keep Crabbe there. But now you got $70 million coming off the bench or producing very poorly. So, I mean, it's shot themselves in the foot there. So that's something. Why not trade him? You just can't trade him to Brooklyn because of the way the CBA is the collective bargaining agreement. You can't trade him to the team that offered him a contract after a year. So maybe you eat this year and trade Crabbe to the Nets next year. Who knows? But either way, you need to get a lot of trade options. I would be shopping everybody that isn't named Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum if I'm the front office of the Portland Trail Blazers. And that's just me being honest. If they want to do anything productive the rest of this season, they should just trade the roster, get a third superstar, get a Boogie Cousins who can do the post. Even a guy, I'm trying to think of quick names here as I got about 30 seconds left on this segment. So, Portland Trailblazers need to make a move, and they need to make it quick. Otherwise, they'll be buried in this Western Conference and not make the playoffs. So, that's what I got about this segment. I'll get another one here in the next couple minutes. We'll talk a little bit of Spurs basketball since they're my favorite basketball team. So, we'll go Spurs ball here in the next couple minutes. Once again, thank you for listening, and I will be back in a few minutes.